So in this video, let's talk about the scene. If you go into the gear, the settings, you'll see scenes. And currently I'm on the back ultra wide scene, so I can go in there and look at it. I'm using just the ultra wide lens. I have my widgets. Widgets are things that are displayed in your scenes. So in this case, I have my map. I can move it around. I have my info, which is the date and time. I have the fact that my mic is on or off, meaning if it's muted, it has the symbol for it. But if it's on and it's working, then it just goes away. I have my stats, like my bit rate, right? And how much total data. So if I go live now, you can see at the bottom left of the screen, my bit rate kicks in, right? And that's everything in this scene, as far as the widget is concerned, is broadcast. It's seen by people that you're streaming to, right? It would be nice if I could duplicate a scene so that I can switch lenses or maybe be able to turn things on and off, but other things to be static, right? So if I don't want a GPS, I don't want to have the map, but I want to have the other stuff, I would like to be able to duplicate that scene and just remove something. You can duplicate a scene by sliding to the left on the scene that you want to copy. So if I start sliding, you'll see that there's a duplicate and a delete. If I press duplicate, it makes a copy of it. So in that copy, I'm gonna rename it to back auto. So I'm gonna use the back and I'm gonna use the 3 triple lens auto select, right? Then I'm gonna select the fact that I'm using all 3 lenses. And I'm done. So now when I switch back and forth between UV and back auto, you'll notice that everything informational-wise, the widgets all stay the same. The issue with doing it this way is if you decide to move one thing, you will then have to move it on the other scene or duplicate it again, right? There is another way of doing this. So I'm gonna reset. I'm gonna go ahead and delete my auto, right? I'm gonna make a widget that copies the context of one scene to another. So watch this. I'm gonna create a widget. I'm gonna call this back template. And as the type, I'm gonna go and tell it that I want it to be a scene. And which one do I want to use? I'm gonna use the UV or UW because that's the scene that has the layout that I want. So watch what happens now. Instead of copying UV, I'm just gonna create a new one. So this is blank. And if you look at my scene, right, it has nothing on it. So watch what happens. I'm gonna go to this. I'm gonna go ahead and call it back auto. I'm gonna select the lens, making sure it's back auto. And as the widget, I'm gonna add a widget, but this time I'm adding the widget of back template. So by adding that template, right, that widget, it's gonna copy over all the scenes. So in this case, my back UW and my back auto has the same template. And if I go to my UW and move something or add something, it will then automatically be added to all the scenes that is using the widget scene for back UW. So this is the way that I like to do it because then I'm moving one thing instead of a bunch. And if you're okay with being able to turn things on and off using the widget, you're actually pretty good. So if I go to my widget here and I say, oh, you know what, I no longer want to share my location. So in my widget, I can say turn off the map. It goes away. You guys see that? Or you know what, it's too much information. I don't want to show the bit rate. It's kind of crazy amount of information. I can turn that one thing off. So you can do it that way if you're turning off 1 or 2 things temporarily. But if you find yourself turning it off a lot, you're driving and that's the only time you use a GPS, make a scene for it. Yeah? It just seems to be more consistent and is easier to follow.